Hello everyone. So let's start with chapter number 3 of human geography, and this chapter is about human development. So there is a very small story, and let's skip the story and start with the chapter. So apparently it is believed that development is freedom, which is often associated with modernization, leisure, comfort and affluence. In the present context, computerization, industrialization, efficient transport and communication network, large education system, advanced and modern medical facilities, safety and security of individuals, etc., are considered as the symbols of development. Every individual, community, and government measures its performance or levels of development in relation to the availability and access to some of these things. But this may be partial and one sided view of development. It is often called the Western or Eurocentric view of development. For a post colonial country like India, colonization, marginalization, social discrimination, and regional disparity, etc., show the other face of development. Thus, for India, development is a mixed bag of opportunities as well as neglect and deprivations. There are a few areas like the metropolitan centers and other developed enclaves that have all the modern facilities available to a small section of its population. At the other extreme of it, there are large rural areas and the slums in the urban areas that do not have basic amenities like potable water, education, and health infrastructure available to majority of this population. The situation is more alarming if one looks at the distribution of development opportunities among different sections of our society. It is a well established fact that majority of the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, landless agricultural laborers, poor farmers, slum dwellers, etc., are the most marginalized lot. A large segment of female population is the worst sufferers among all. It is also equally true that the relative as well as the absolute conditions of the majority of these marginalized sections have worsened with the development happening over the years. Consequently, vast majority of people are compelled to live under abject poverty and subhuman conditions. There is yet another interrelated aspect of development that has direct bearings on the deteriorating human conditions. It pertains to the environmental pollution leading to ecological crisis. Air, soil, water, and noise pollutants have not only led to the tragedy of commons, but these have also threatened the existence of our society. Consequently, the poor are being subjected to three interrelated processes of declining capabilities. That is, 1. Social capabilities due to the displacement and weakening social ties, social capital. Second, environmental capabilities due to pollution. And third is personal capabilities due to increasing incidence of disease and accidents. Thus, in turn has adverse effect on their quality of life and human development. Based on the above experiences, it can be said that the present development has not been able to address the issues of social injustice, regional imbalances, and environmental degradation. On the contrary, it is being widely considered as the prime cause of the social distributive injustice, deterioration in the quality of life and human development, ecological crisis, and social unrest. Does development create, reinforce, and perpetuate these crises? Thus, it was thought to take up human development as a separate issue against the prevalent Western views of development, which considers development as a remedy to the ills including human development, regional disparities, and environmental crisis. Concerned efforts were made to look at the development critically at various times in the past. But most systematic efforts towards this was publication of the first human development report by United Nations Development Program UNDP in 1990. Since then, this organization has been bringing out World Human Development Report every year. This report does not only define human development, make amendments and changes its indicators, but also ranks all the countries of the world based on calculated scores. According to the Human Development Report 1993, progressive democratization and increasing empowerment of people are seen as the minimum conditions for human development. Moreover, it also mentions that development must be woven around people, not the people around development, as was the case previously. If you have studied the concepts, indicators, and approaches to human development and methods of calculating the index in your book, Fundamentals of Human Geography, in this chapter, let us try to understand the applicability of these concepts and indicators to India. Human development in India. India, with a population of over 1.2 billion, is ranked 131 among 189 countries of the world in terms of Human Development Index (HDI). With a composite HDI value of 0.645, India finds herself grouped with countries showing medium human development. Below this paragraph is a table, the table 3.1, which tells us the Human Development Index values of India and some other countries. In this table, Norway leads the HDI value with Norway leads the table with HDI value of 0.957 and rank of 1. Below Norway, we have Germany and USA. And on fourth position, we have UK. Fifth is Russia. Sixth, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Brazil, China, Egypt, Indonesia, South Africa. And below South Africa, we have India. India with a HDI index of 0.645. Below India, we have Bangladesh, and then we have Pakistan with an HDI of 0.557 and a rank of 154. This is the next paragraph. Low scores in HDI is a matter of serious concern, but some reservations have been expressed about the approach as well as indicators selected to calculate the index values and rankings of state/countries. Lack of sensitivity to historical factors like colonization, imperialism, and neo imperialism, socio cultural factors like human rights violation, social discrimination on the basis of race, religion, gender, and caste, social problems like crimes, terrorism, and war, and political factors like nature of state, forms of government, democracy or dictatorship, level of empowerment are some factors that are very crucial in determining the nature of human development. These aspects have special significance in case of India and many other developing countries. Using the indicators selected by UNDP, the Planning Commission of India also prepared the Human Development Report for India. It used states and union territories as the units of analysis. Subsequently, each state government also started preparing the state level human development reports, using districts as the units of analysis. Although the final HDI by the Planning Commission of India has been calculated by taking the three indicators as directed in the book entitled Fundamentals of Human Geography, yet this report also discussed other indicators like economic attainment, social empowerment, social distributive justice, accessibility, hygiene, and various welfare measures undertaken by the state. Some of the important indicators have been discussed in the following pages. Indicators of social attainments. Rich resource base and access to these resources by all, particularly by the poor, downtrodden, and the marginalized, is the key to productivity, well being, and human development. Gross National Product GNP and its per capita availability are taken as the measures to assess the resource base slash endowment of any country. Economic attainment and the well being of individuals depend on economic growth, employment opportunities, and access to assets. Over the years, the per capita income and consumption expenditure in India has increased. As a result, there has been consistent decline in the proportion of population living below the poverty line. The percentage of persons below the poverty line in 2011-12 has been estimated as 25.7% in rural areas, 13.7% in urban areas, and 21.9% for a country as a whole. The data of poverty for the states show that there are states like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, and Odisha, Dadar and Nagar Haveli, which have recorded more than 30% of their population living below poverty line. Other states like Gujarat, Haryana, Jammu Kashmir, Maharashtra, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Tripura, Uttarakhand, and West Bengal have recorded between 10 to 20% of their population below poverty line. Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Sikkim, Puducherry, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Daman and Diu, Lakshadweep have below 10% of the population living below poverty line. Poverty is a state of deprivation in absolute terms. It reflects the inability of an individual to satisfy certain basic needs for a sustained, healthy, and reasonable productive living. The gross domestic product GDP of a country does not fully reflect the quality of life of a country. There are other factors like housing, access to public transport, air quality, air quality, and access to drinking water, which also determine the standard of living. Jobless growth and rampant underemployment are some of the important reasons for higher incidences of poverty in India. Indicators of a healthy life. Life free from illness and ailment and living a reasonably long lifespan are indicative of a healthy life. Availability of pre and post natal healthcare facilities in order to reduce infant mortality and post delivery deaths among mothers, old age healthcare, adequate nutrition, and safety of individual are some important measures of a healthy and reasonably long life. Swachh Bharat Mission SBM. The release of toxic and non biodegradable waste from industries and urban sewerages and open defecation, etc., have created many health hazards. The government of India has initiated many steps to address these problems, and Swachh Bharat Mission is one of these. A healthy mind lives in a healthy body, and for a healthy body, clean environment and particularly clean air, water, noise free ambience, and hygienic surrounding are prerequisite. Municipal waste, industrial effluents, and pollutants generated by transport, etc., are major sources of pollution in urban area. Open defecation in rural areas and in urban slums are a major source of pollution. The government of India, with its flagship program Swachh Bharat Mission, aims at pollution free environment. Its objectives are making India open defecation free and achieving 100% scientific management of municipal solid waste, construction of individual household latins IHHL, community toilet seats, and public toilet seats, making provisions for supply of clean energy fuel LPG to all households in rural India to reduce domestic pollution, providing potable drinking water to every household to control the spread of waterborne diseases, and promoting the use of non conventional energy resources like wind and solar energy. On the right hand side of this page, we have table 3.3 that tells us about the India literacy rates 2011. India with a total literacy of 74.04% and a female literacy of 65.46%. The Jammu and Kashmir tops this chart with 68% total literacy. Next is Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, and Chandigarh. All right. So Jammu Kashmir is at the bottom of the chart, not at the top of the chart. It ranks at the lowest level with 68% total literacy, and Andaman and Nicobar has the highest, not the highest. I'm sorry. This chart or this table is not ranked. So if we had to find, Kerala has 93.1 literacy rate, that we can see is the highest till now. Mizoram has 91% literacy rates. And then on the lowest level, we have one is Bihar with 63.82% literacy rates. Yes, that's it. So the highest we believe is in Kerala, that is 93.91% literacy rates. This is a provisional report from 2011 census. India has done reasonably well in some of the health indicators like decline in death rate from 25.1 per thousand in 1951 to 6.5 per thousand in 2015, and infant mortality from 148 per thousand to 37 during the same period. Similarly, it succeeded in increasing life expectancy at birth from 37.1 years to 66.9 years for males and 36.2 to 70 years for females from 1951 to 2015. Though these are great achievements, a lot needs to be done. Similarly, it has also done reasonably well in bringing down birth rate from 40.8 to 20.8 during the same years. But it still is much higher than many developed countries. The situation is more alarming when seen in context of gender specific and rural and urban health indicators. India has recorded declining female sex ratio. The findings of 2011 census of India are very disturbing, particularly in case of child sex ratio in the age group of 0 to 6 years. The other significant features of the report are, with the exception of Kerala, the child sex ratio has declined in all the states, and it is the most alarming in developed state of Haryana and Punjab, where it is below 850 female children per thousand male children. What factors are responsible for it? Is it the social attitude or scientific methods of sex determination? This is the question that we should answer, and we should practice for this question as well. Indicators of social empowerment. Development is freedom. Freedom from hunger, poverty, servitude, bondage, ignorance, illiteracy, and other forms of domination is the key to human development. Freedom in real sense of the term is possible only when the empowerment and participation of the people in the exercise of their capabilities and choices in the society. Access to knowledge about the society and the environment are fundamental to freedom. Literacy is the beginning of access to such a world of knowledge and freedom. Table 3.3 shows the percentage of literates in India over India reveals some interesting features. Overall literacy in India is approximately 74% 2011, while female literacy is 65%. Total literacy as well as female literacy is higher than national average in most of the states from South India. There are wide regional disparities in literacy rate across states of India. There is a state like Bihar which has very low 63.82% literacy, and there are states like Kerala, Mizoram which have literacy rates of 93.93% and 91% respectively. Apart from the spatial variations, percentage of literates in rural areas and among the marginalized sections of the society, such as females, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, agricultural laborers, etc., is very low. It is worth mentioning here that though there has been improvement in the percentage of literates among the marginalized section, yet the gap between the richer and the marginalized sections of the population has increased over the years. Human Development Index in India. In the backdrop of the above mentioned important indicators, the Planning Commission calculated the Human Development Index by taking states and union territories as the unit of analysis. India has been placed among the countries showing medium human development. What is the rank of India among 188 countries of the world? As indicated in table 3.4, Kerala with a composite index value of 0.790 is placed at the top rank, followed by Delhi, Himachal Pradesh, Goa, and Punjab. As expected, states like Bihar, Odisha, Chhattisgarh are at the bottom among the 23 major states of India. So we have a table 3.4 that tells us India Human Development Index. We have Kerala topping the chart with 0.79, Delhi in the second 0.75, Himachal Pradesh 0.65, and Goa 0.61. On the bottom of the chart, we have Chhattisgarh with the HDI of 0.35. There are several socio-political, economic, and historical reasons for such a state of affairs. Kerala is able to record the highest value in the HDI largely due to its impressive performance in achieving near 100% literacy. In a different scenario, the states like Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Assam, and Uttar Pradesh have very low literacy. States showing higher total literacy rates have less gaps between male and female literacy rates. Apart from the educational attainment, the levels of economic development too play significant impacts on HDI. Economically developed states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, and Haryana have higher value of HDI as compared to states like Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, etc. Regional distortions and social disparities which developed during the colonial period continue to play an important role in Indian economy, polity, and society. The government of India has made concerted efforts to institutionalize the balanced development with its main focus on social distributive justice. Through planned development, it has made scientific achievements in most of the fields, but these are still below the desired levels. Population, environment, and development. Development in general and human development in particular is a complex concept used in social sciences. It is a complex because for ages it was thought that development is a substantive concept, and once it is achieved, it will address all the socio-cultural and environmental ills of the society. Though development has brought in significant improvement in the quality of life in more than one way, but increasing regional disparities, social inequalities, discriminations, deprivations, displacement of people, abuse of human rights, and undermining human values and environmental degradation have also increased. Considering the gravity and sensitivity of the issues involved, the UNDP in its Human Development Report 1993 tried to amend some of the illicit biases and prejudices which were entrenched in the concept of development. People's participation and their security were the major issues in Human Development Report of 1993. It also emphasized on progressive democratization and increasing empowerment of people as minimum conditions for human development. The report recognized greater constructive role of civil societies in bringing about peace and human development. The civil society should work for building up opinion for reduction in military expenditure, demobilization of armed forces, transition from defense to production of basic goods and services, and particularly disarmament and reduction in the nuclear warheads by the developed countries. In a nuclearized world, peace and well-being are major global concerns. At the other extreme of this approach lie the views expressed by the neo Malthusians, environmentalists, and radical ecologists. They believe that for a happy and peaceful social life, proper balance between population and resources is a necessary condition. According to these thinkers, the gap between the resources and population has widened after 18th century. There have been marginal expansion in the resources of the world in the last 300 years, but there has been phenomenal growth in the human population. Development has only contributed in increasing the multiple uses of limited resources of the world, while there has been enormous increase in the demand for these resources. Therefore, the prime task before any development activity is to maintain parity between population and resources. Scholar like Sir Robert Malthus was the first one to voice his concern about the growing scarcity of resources as compared to the human population. Apparently, this argument looks like logical and convincing, but a critical look will reveal intrinsic flaws such as resources are not a neutral category. It is not the availability of resources that is as important as their social distribution. Resources everywhere are unevenly distributed. Rich countries and people have access to large resource baskets, while the poor find the resources shrinking. Moreover, unending pursuit of control of more and more resources by the powerful and the use of the same for exhibiting one's prowess, prowess is the prime cause of conflicts as well as the apparent contradictions between population, resource, and development. Indian culture and civilization have been very sensitive to the issues of population, resource development, resource and development for a long time. It would not be incorrect to say that ancient scriptures were essentially concerned about the balance and harmony among the elements of nature. Mahatma Gandhi in the recent times advocated the reinforcement of harmony and balance between the two. He was quite apprehensive about the ongoing development, particularly the way industrialization has institutionalized the loss of morality, spirituality, self reliance, non violence, and mutual cooperation and environment. In his opinion, austerity for individual trusteeship of social wealth and non violence are the key to attain higher goals in the life of an individual as well as that of a nation. His views were also re echoed in the Club of Rome report, Limits to Growth, 1972. Schumacher's book, Small is Beautiful, 1974. Brundtland Commission's report, Our Common Future, 1987. And finally, the Agenda 21 report of the Rio Conference, 1993. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This was the end of chapter number 3. Is it 3? Yes, it is 3. Yes, chapter number 3 on human development. Also, just a side note, we have also current affairs video about human development index and the report that was recently published, how the indicators that have been used in the human development index report are a little flawed when we see for a country like India. Also, since we recently just passed a surge of COVID, hence the reports that were recently published about the human development are they need to be taken with a pinch of salt. Now these reports will be, now this entire video is available on the top of the screen, and you can click on the link and go to the video. Final word, please do share and subscribe the channel, keep supporting us, do join the Telegram and Twitter for updates, regular updates on the videos, and thank you everyone for tuning in. All the best for exams, and do share and subscribe the channel, and all the best. Thank you.